What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Just finished watching the match, and Barcelona beat Celta Vigo 4-3. We were 3-1 down in the 60th minute. Another remontada to add to the history books of Football Club Barcelona. The performance overall wasn't that bad. 3 individual catastrophic errors in defense that gifted Celta Vigo goals, but in the end, Barcelona persevered. They completed another incredible comeback, and the treble, ladies and gentlemen, is definitely on. The starting lineup for this match is on the screen for you right now. It was Szczesny in goal, a back four of Kounde, Cubarsi, Inigo, and Gerard Martin, a midfield 3 of Pedri, De Jong, and Fermin Lopez, front 3 of Ferran Torres, Lewandowski, and Raphinha. So from our Gala 11 alone, only 2 changes really, Olmo and Lamine on the bench. But if you look at the Dortmund game from midweek, there were 3 changes, of course. Pedri comes back in the team, Inigo come back in the team as well, and Ferran Torres takes the spot of Lamine Yamal. So light rotation, we could say, from the starting 11 from the manager. The first goal scored in this match was scored by Ferran Torres, the Shark. A great goal by him as well. Inigo was running through the ball from the defensive line into the midfield, passes it to Ferran Torres. He makes a nice run down the right-hand side. He's in the corner of the box, body towards against the goal, turns and shoots a low-driven bottom right-hand corner. Fantastic finish from the Shark, and he gives Barcelona the 1-0 lead. The second goal scored in this match by Barcelona was scored by Dani Olmo. A great finish from him after a great interlinking play on the left-hand side. I believe it was Raphinha that gave the final ball to Dani Olmo. Great shot across goal right in front of the keeper. Easy finish for him. He scored a lot of goals in those areas this season, and he made the score 3-2 and made the comeback alive. The third goal scored in this match for Barcelona was scored by Raphinha 2 minutes after Dani Olmo scored the 3-2 goal to bring us back bring us back some momentum. Raphinha scored to make it 3-3 to level the game. 2 minutes later, it was a fantastic cross by Lamine, with Raphinha making the header at the far post. He headed the opposite side of Guaita, the Celta Vigo goalkeeper. Very well worked on the right hand side as well. I believe it was between Frenkie, Kounde, and Lamine in the end put in a beautiful ball into the area, pinpoint perfection of a cross, and Raphinha with a good header. 3-3, and now we have not only a point, but we still have another 25 minutes to get a winner. And the fourth and final goal scored for Barcelona was scored by Raphinha to make it 4-3 and to complete a second half, we could even say a half an hour remontada against Celta. It was a penalty, of course, clear penalty that was won by Dani Olmo, so some brownie points for him as well. Clear penalty, referee didn't see it. Thankfully, we have VAR now, and they came and they intervened. Raphinha's penalty was fantastic. Guaita actually went the right way, but went a bit lower, so if Raphinha went low, Guaita would have probably saved it, but he put a little bit of height onto it, and he roofed it into the back of the net on the right-hand side, completing Barcelona's yet another huge comeback this season, and keeping alive, of course, the quadruple dream. So overall, the team performance rating on the night, I'm going to be giving it a very solid 7 out of 10. You're probably thinking, Barca boy, we had to make a comeback. We could see 3 goals. We played very poorly. You have to remember, the 3 goals we did concede were all individual mistakes. Those were Barcelona saying, here you go, Celta. Here's a free goal for you. No way that Celta worked their way through. Maybe a corner, then goal. Nothing like that. 3 individual mistakes that left Borja Iglesias through. He scored a hat-trick today, by the way. We can see the hat-trick is Borja Iglesias and Cubarsi in the span of a week. I've been saying this on the channel for years now. The target man striker is Barcelona's kryptonite. If you want to beat Barcelona, you sit back, park the bus, hit us on the brake, and slap a target man striker up there. Again, it's very embarrassing for Barcelona to see another hat-trick, but again, I'll take the 3 points all day. I don't think the performance was that bad. Of course, we're going to give the rating an extra juice for the team making the comeback, of course, in the second half. Credit to the team for that, the resilience. Again, I was in the live stream again this season for about the 10,000th time saying that best we'll probably get is a draw. I don't see it as winning. 2 goals in 2 minutes. We have another half an hour to get a winner, so of course by then I did believe, but the issue for me in this game was not only the individual mistakes at the back, but also the passing. Yet again, this team, when it comes to facing opponents where we should be, clear and utter favorites, they're so lackluster in their passing. They just assume that one player will make that run, the other player will make that vision. Lewandowski at times, Frenkie de Jong, Pedri, they make these passes where They think the player will make the run, they never do it. Kounde as well, the same thing. I don't think it was a poor game from Barcelona. Celta Vigo had, apart from their 3 chances, not much other. They had, of course, the Mengueta header that almost was a dagger to win the game for them. I believe they had another chance maybe with Moriba in the first half. So it wasn't like they were dominating per se. I think we had the clear dominance, especially on the ball, but we were absolutely useless in possession today. But of course, you have to give some credit for that second half comeback. I was going to give the team, honestly, when we were losing the game at 3-1, 3-2, and even 3-3, I was still going to give the team an average 6 out of 10. I don't think we played that badly. Again, the issue is that the mistakes came individual. We'll talk about that, of course, in the players' individual ratings. But I thought that the team, of course, showed resilience, and thank God. I thought we were going to have back-to-back losses. I could not believe my eyes. Again, doing a comeback is always difficult. Of course, being at home, you have that tiny inch of an advantage, but you have to give the team credit where it's due. Being 3-1 down, of course, you're already 1-1 at halftime. You go 2-1 down, thinking, oh God, we gotta do a comeback. 3-1 as well. We also conceded, I think, 2 goals in about 7 or 8 minutes against Celta, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So you have to give credit where it's due. They were resilient, they went for it, they chucked the bodies forward, got a bit lucky in defense as well at some times as well, especially when we were, putting basically everything we had to it in the second half. But you have to give credit where it's due. And again, for me, a team doing this shows me that something special is going to happen this season. You cannot make this many comebacks, get, this kind of lucky as well, both in defense and in the attack, and then not, go on and win the big trophies. Surely, right? I thought everyone thinking La Liga is dead at this point. And again, we knew that we are going to give up a game between Celta, Mallorca, Valladolid, and Real Madrid, of course, in the Clásico. Those are the next 4 league games. At one of those games, we had to drop off because, of course, we had the big games in the Copa del Rey final and semi-final of the Champions League. We wanted that game to be the Valladolid game. So thankfully, this win, of course, is absolutely huge for that. So overall, team performance rating tonight for me gets a 7 out of 10. Very solid, and extra credit as well for the team for making that second half an hour comeback against Celta for the second time at home. By the way, we did, of course, last season we were 2-0 down. We came back, so technically 2 goal difference last season and this season where we made the comeback against Celta. So they did it last season, and they also did it yet again tonight. Let's now get into the players' individual player ratings. It's going to be quite a juicy one, to say the least. We're going to start off, of course, in goal with Szczesny. For me, he gets a 4 out of 10. I'm a bit, of course, angry. Despite us making a comeback, I'm, of course, still upset by the way we conceded tonight. Of course, that first goal, all on him. I think Szczesny kind of, was the domino effect to put us in this terrible situation to make a comeback. We were 1-0 up. We were dominating. Celta Vigo didn't even have a sniff a goal. One mistake. They have belief. They, of course, pushed forward. I think he was a domino effect. That's why I've been a bit more harsh on him. You probably could say 5. Shout out for that double save, I believe, in the first half, just before halftime. The 2 goals he can see in the second half. The first one was a fucking phenomenal finish from Borja Iglesias. Third one, the chip, I think he should be doing much better in that scenario. Being chipped that low, just above your ankle, I expect him to do much better. Of course, he gets chipped all the way over. You can't do nothing about that, but the chip was really beside him. I expect Szczesny to do a bit better, but this is a problem with Szczesny, I guess. I mean, I think he's still, of course, miles better than any other goalkeepers that we have right now, but the fact that he has this mistake in him still is a bit annoying. The first few ones, the Real Madrid Super Cup, the Benfica, I'm like, okay, I'll let those slide, so you're just coming back, but doing it still now, it is a bit annoying. Hopefully he fixes up. But again, he still had a decent performance. I'm just being a bit bitter. And I think he was the reason why we had, to make this comeback. So 4 out of 10 from Szczesny for me tonight. Wasn't his day, to be honest. But shout out for that double save in the first half. Into the defensive line, center back partnership, of course. Firstly, in the right hand side, it was Cubarsi. I'm going to give Cubarsi a 5 out of 10. I've put a little bit of blame on him as well for that first goal being conceded. I think he should have done much better as well. If Szczesny was going to miss it, he should be at least interpreting the fact that it's going to be cleared. Got done a lot for pace today. I think he defended well, had some good aerial duels, some good ground duels, had some solid clearances as well. Was put under a lot of pressure since we'll talk about the other center back in just a few seconds, but he got done a lot on the counter today, which I was a bit disappointed with Cubarsi. I'm not saying that he's slow or anything. I know he has some speed on him, but was getting done in behind so much today, and of course at a fault a little bit for the first goal for me as well. Apart from that, I thought he played all right, but just a few laps in concentration in this game. So 5 out of 10 from me. His center back partner on the left hand side, Mr. Inigo Martinez. I know he got an assist. I could not give a rat's arse. I thought Inigo today was absolutely woeful. We talked about the first game of the season. It was, away at the Mestalla, where Inigo had a stinker, and I went in on him in the match review. First game of the season. This is, I think, on par with that performance. I think Inigo today was terrible. Yes, he had that last tackle to stop Celta from scoring, but his high line awareness was poor. Early on the ground was poor. His passing today was absolutely disgusting. A lot of times he wasn't trusting Gerard Martin with the ball, which I understand why, but bloody hell, his passing was abysmal. The only thing good they did today was, of course, stop that counterattack, which, of course, he made the mistake for Celta to be in that counterattack, so I mean, both of it kind of cancels out, so I don't want to give him too much credit for that. I thought Inigo was woeful. This was, for me, on par with one of, if not his worst performance of the season, but hopefully it's just a minor blimp in the road. 4 out of 10 from me. Into the fullbacks now. First on the left-hand side, Gerard Martin, 4 out of 10 from me as well. I mean, we just saw the Gerard Martin from before, really. He was absolutely terrible. Could not hold the ball. Every time he got the ball, straight back to Inigo. I think 9 times out of 10 his passes were coming in from Inigo. Pass straight back to him. Going forward was poor. In possession was poor. Holding up the ball was poor. Touches and control from long balls were poor. Crosses in the box were absolutely terrible. This man just gets the ball and just crosses it. Does not look to see who's in the box, who's making the run. So I hate when players do that. This is not just on Gerard Martin. Of course, I am talking about him today, but this is just in general. When either Kounde, Gerard Martin, Balde, Fermin, Rafa, they just cross the ball in the box without even looking to see that, hey, by the way, nobody's in the box. So frustrated. And he did that a lot today, Gerard Martin. He'd get the ball, put in the ball, and the crosses were okay, but nobody's there in the box. Woeful from Gerard Martin today. 4 out of 10 from me. Right back, of course, the other fullback, Jules Kounde. Doesn't get much better. 4 out of 10 from me as well from Jules today. Everything today from him was piss poor. The exact same thing I said about Gerard Martin. It's pretty much the same thing with Jules Kounde. Although in the second half, I think he did defend pretty well. Apart from that, he was wank. That first half for me was terroristic from Kounde. He could not control the ball. His passes were disgusting. His touch was absolutely all over the place. Gave the ball away so many times as well. It was just dire. Absolutely dire from him. I mean, Kounde's had an absolute, free fall since being benched against Rayo Vallecano back in fucking February. It's been 2 months, and since then, he's just been terrible. In games where we don't rely on him heavily on defending, like against Atletico Madrid in the Cup and in the League, was fantastic. But in any other game where you've had the balanced play from him, he's been terrible. No, I don't think he's had a goal or assist since the game against Betis in the league in the Copa del Rey where he scored, I think, once or twice. He's just been terrible, man. I love Jules. He's one of my he was my favorite Barcelona player, but he's not anymore with his form and him being late for training so much. But my God, he was absolutely abysmal today. Credit for the second half for his defending, and once Lamine came in, looked a bit more comfortable. I'm not gonna lie, but still, that first 70 minutes, I thought he was absolutely wank. 4 out of 10 from me. Into the midfield now. Firstly, the captain, Frenkie de Jong, another 4 out of 10, which shows again. I mean, my team rating, you're probably thinking, well, I had to get a team rating of 7. I think the team overall collectively played well, but individually, there were some stinkers. I think Frenkie de was poor. Of course, he gave the goal away for the 2-1 for the Iglesias' brace. To kill really our momentum for making a comeback. Disgustingly poor from him. Not only did he fail to touch the ball, but also failed to hold the line. If he just stepped into the opponent's half, he would have been offside. I don't know why he just didn't take that extra step forward. He keeps him onside. Absolutely piss poor from Frenkie. I thought, to be fair to Frenkie, during that 30 minutes we were trying to make the comeback, didn't look too bad. But I think in the first half as well, misplaced passes, being so conservative with his play. All he did, I talked about, of course, Gerard Martin. Every time he got the ball, just back to Inigo, back to Inigo, back to Inigo. Frenkie was just Pedri, Cubarsi, Pedri, Kounde, Pedri, Ferran. It's just it was so nostalgic. Not nostalgic, it was so, static from him that he was not looking at anything going forward, apart from when we went, of course, for the comeback. He did, of course, much better, but I think he was pretty poor today. Probably his rating was a 5 out of 10, but I gave him an extra rating down for that mistake that, of course, put us in an absolutely terrible situation, so I will give him a 4 out of 10. Other pivot, of course, was Pedri. I've given Pedri a 5 out of 10. I think this is probably one of his worst performances of the season. I don't think he was that great today. Getting beat and out-muscled by Elias Moriba in the midfield. His passing today was very, very poor as well. I mean, again, I talked about the players passing without, having any awareness and anything looking forward. He was one of the victims of that. I thought Pedri today was not that great. I mean, he when we made that comeback in the 30 minutes, looked okay with finding nice intricate passes into Lamine, into Rafa, connectivity play today, the chemistry was all over the pitch from Pedri. Could not link up very, very well with anybody. Again, I think he was very important in that comeback, being very decisive, holding off the press from Celta. I think he had some nice close control in this game, dealing with the press, finding, nice passes in between, little to no spaces. Credit to him for that. I just think when we're in possession naturally and we're trying to, go through with it, wasn't that great today, Pedri. But, everyone has a drop off here and there, so no worries for me, but just not the best from Pedri today. In the 10, of course, the final midfielder was Fermin Lopez. 5 out of 10 from me as well. I thought he was poor. Back-to-back stinkers from Fermin. It's just, again, a lot of the same thing that I've been discussing in this video. He runs and crosses it to nobody. He had some good chances in this game as well. I remember he had that shot in the second half off the turn, which I think he did very well when. First half, he gets into areas and his decision-making is just absolutely terrible. I don't know what happened. I guess when Fermin just becomes a starter, you can just see the difference when Olmo came in. Olmo came in and won the penalty, got a goal, finding space in the area, getting a few chances in the box, making runs in behind. Of course, Olmo did play in the false 9 for quite a bit, but just the levels between Olmo and Fermin is staggering. I still think Fermin's a great player. I still want to keep him. I think he has definitely a lot of room to grow to get to Olmo's level. Of course, Olmo's way ahead of him in his career, but just another stinker from Fermin. He just looks like a headless chicken in that final third. I think in build-up play, helping with the press as well, not too bad, but just on the ball, making runs, doesn't look that great. So 5 out of 10 from me. Into the forwards now. Firstly, on the left wing, it was Ferran Torres. 7 out of 10 for me. I thought Ferran Torres was one of our best players today. I thought he had a really, really good game. Of course, the goal was absolutely fantastic as well. Was making some good runs, connecting very, very well in terms of play, making some nice 1-2s with Raphinha, with Lua. His press was great as well, especially in that last 20 minutes of the first half, pressuring Guaita, the outside center back and central center back, and Marcos Alonso for Celta. Made some good runs in behind. Had another few chances as well, where some of the shots were went a bit begging. I think he had this 1-2 with Ferran, which he shot wide. There's another one, I think, in the box that he should have scored that he put wide as well. So he got into good areas, was getting stuck in. I really rated the performance. I didn't like how Flick did take him off, but thought he went a good shift. Now with Lua injured, hopefully Lua's injury isn't serious. We will see a lot more Ferran Torres. I thought he had a really, really good cameo in the hour that he played. Right wing, of course, it's your Hoga Bonito, man. To be fair, I really liked Raphinha out on the right-hand side today. He looked way more natural, was getting some nice movements, some nice dribbles as well, putting in some decent crosses. I was going to give him a 7 out of 10 without his 2 goals and an assist today, but that second half, the man cooked. I mean, I know the stats are going to absolutely be juiced. I don't think he was a 9 out of 10 today, but I got 2 goals and an assist. One that scored the winning penalty, got the assist for the Olmo goal, got the goal as well from the Lamine cross. It's hard not to give him, a 9 or a 10 out of 10, but I gave him a 9. I don't think he was, a 10 out of 10 perfect performance. Again, we were 3-1 down at the hour mark, but I do like what I see from Raphinha on the right hand side, which again it gives me more confidence that if we do sign a left winger this summer, we can see Raphinha play on the right hand side to rest Lamine or provide some competition for him as well. I really liked what I saw from him on the right hand side, and of course credit to him and leading the team in that comeback. The goal was a great header. The pass from to Olmo was great as well. The penalty, ice cold in the veins, 90th minute to send Barcelona into a remontada to put basically one hand on the league title. You cannot get more crazy than that. So 9 out of 10 for Raphinha. Man of the match, of course, as well. Absolutely fantastic from him. Finally, up front, of course, RL9, Robert Lewandowski. Another stinker from him. 5 out of 10. I mean, poor guy just doesn't get involved. He had one chance in the first half, which he should have scored. It was an absolutely disgusting miss. I think it was very early on. I think it was before Ferran Torres scored. But apart from that, he had nothing else. Was getting fouled left, right, and center. He's getting knees and elbows into the back of the poor guy. Didn't really get involved too much. And again, the reason why I gave him not an average, but I gave him a 5 was hold-up play. In terms of, him having possession and distributing the ball, terrible, like I mentioned with everyone else pretty much. Trying to guess passes that don't go through, taking too long with the ball, then loses it. A lot of that from Lua today, so I'm not too impressed with the performance, but do hope that he recovers very, very quickly, that his injury isn't serious. Of course, I will discuss that tomorrow in the Barcelona news video, so we'll see on that, but 5 out of 10 for me for Lua. Into the substitutions now, of course, the subs were Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, Gavi, Eric Garcia, and Pau Victor. First time we've seen Pau Victor in a few months. Of course, Lamine and Olmo were the game changers. And Lamine with an assist, Olmo with an assist and a penalty one. I thought they were both fantastic. They were both the absolute game changers in this game. You can just see the level that they bring to the team and see how the level increases of the team as well when they came in. Gavi came in. I thought Gavi didn't do too badly actually. He was going to make a striker for a bit, which I think was very, very weird and strange from Flick. Got stuck in, made some good runs, had some nice play with Lamine down the right hand side. Eric Garcia came in, just defended for about 10 minutes. Pau Victor, I don't even think Pau Victor touched the ball, if I'm being honest. So we'll give, Pau Victor and Eric Garcia some brownie points. But shout out to Lamine and Olmo, of course. They were the main reason I think we made this comeback. They had a massive, massive impact off the bench. And last but not least is, of course, the manager, Hansi Flick, who tonight for me will be getting an average 6 out of 10. He's lucky he got the win. I was going to go in on him a bit more if we didn't win this game. Starting 11, had no problem with it. Thought it was actually a good team. He went for it. Of course, the 3 individual mistakes you cannot blame him too much for. I was very disappointed that we did not see any halftime subs. You're being 1-1. You've already played like your starting players. I wouldn't have brought on Lamine at halftime. I'm expecting, Dani Olmo. Why was there no Ford today? Both fullbacks today were absolutely dreadful. Ford not making the appearance is absolutely criminal. Of course, the Olmo and Lamine subs were very, very obvious, and in the end we made the comeback, so I guess he gets away with it a little bit. I think his in-game management up until we were 3-1 down wasn't that great. I expect him to have much more impact on the game. How Fermin Lopez, and by the way, Ferran Torres sub. How is Ferran Torres getting subbed off? Not for me, it's favoritism. Of course, in the end, it worked out in our favor. If you told me sub off Ferran, we win. Of course, I would have done it, but I'm surprised that Ferran was subbed out. I thought he was the one that, at that point, when he was subbed, he was probably the best player on the pitch, even before Raphinha, for Barcelona, of course, even before Raphinha. I don't think that's really fair on Ferran. I would have loved to have seen Ferran Torres go up top, Raphinha off the left, and of course Lamine on the right hand side. But of course, he probably wanted Lua there for the hold up play, for the aerial threat and stuff like that, which I do understand. But that was very unfair for Ferran to get subbed off. And not seeing Hector Fort in this game for me is criminal. With both fullbacks dropping absolute stinkers, especially Gerard Martin, who's had an absolutely woeful game. It was piss poor from me, but luckily he got the win, so we'll leave it at that. 6 out of 10 for me for Flick. Got lucky, got out of dodge there, got the 3 points, which all that matters, but still some areas where you do hope that he does make some improvements. So that was a match review for Barcelona versus Celta Vigo in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. Main thing I want to first say, of course, is your thoughts on the performance, your player ratings, and your manager rating as well. And of course, do not forget to subscribe. You have to subscribe after that comeback down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care. Força Barça!